Hey folks, this is Vent with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Sheltered 2. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 20 bucks. So this is going to be part review, part first impressions. I'm about 5 hours into this, and I've got about 60 to 65 hours in the original Sheltered. I've also reviewed the original Sheltered, and I'll just come right out and say it. Sheltered is a fantastic game. Totally recommend that one. Sheltered 2, on the other hand, again, I'm going to just again stress that this is not a full-blown review. I'm going to need some more time with it before I finally judge it. I will be playing it on a regular basis, I think, for a while until I'm ready to make a final verdict. But I do at least want to give you some opinions as to what I think so far and give you some information as to what this new version's all about so that you can make up your own mind, hopefully, before I'm ready to make up mine. So, Sheltered 2, similar to Sheltered 1, is a post-apocalyptic build your own faction slash base kind of thing. In Sheltered 1, you got to pick 4 members of a family and try and help them survive. In this game, you're going to pick 3 people and create your own faction. You'll be able to like design your own flag and so on, name your characters, you can give them cowboy hats, you can customize their look any way you want, which is really cool. I'll quickly go over some of the new things that are in Sheltered 2 compared to Sheltered 1. For example, there's a new temperature mechanic. You actually have to manage heat and cold in this game. Your shelter, for example, will start off cold. You're given the option to build these, I guess, these barrels that you can just put wood in and light on fire, and that'll keep your shelter warm. If you keep your shelter cold, then you'll get a negative mood score on your characters, and they'll be a bit more grumpy than usual. So there is a new heat mechanic, and that plays into the planting of seeds as well. Some seeds, like broccoli seeds, need a very wet environment. They need temperature to be between like 5 degrees Celsius and 15, whatever. So you have to sort of figure out, okay, these seeds will survive on the surface. These seeds will only survive in this room that I've walled off. Yeah, you can actually like build partitions and, section off via walls so that you can create tiny rooms, put heaters in them or fans in them as appropriate to heat or cool down rooms. That's really cool. I like that addition to the game. There's a new separate food and health storage. In Sheltered 1, everything was just sort of thrown into a generic storage. Now you've got like food and health as separate things, so you need to build separate storages for all of those. There are still some limitations though, like being able to filter. Like there is like a general filter, like there's a drop down that has general, but there's no like junk filter that I've seen. Like when I'm trying to send my people out on missions and I want to filter by satchels or anything that I can use to carry equipment, I can't seem to do that. So I have to put it on the all filter and just try and find it that way, which is annoying. So quality of life, but I'll get to that in a little bit. As far as other new things, there's perks in this game. So whenever you create your faction, your leader has a bit more depth in terms of perks, sort of like in Project Zomboid. You'll be able to choose between a list of positive and negative traits that give you a positive or negative point score. So you're given like 5 points, for example, and being inspirational or whatever is -3, so you've got 2 points left to spend. But you can always take a negative trait and make yourself worse in order to get more points to spend on something else. So you can create some really weird combinations that way. You've also got a skill tree, which is unique to each character rather than just your leader. So there's that. There is a weight carrying system now in this game as opposed to a slot carrying system. So as you pick up heavy pieces of wood, that's going to weigh you down. So you'll be able to bring back small things, a lot of small things, back to your base. But if you're trying to bring back logs, you may have to drop other things. So rather than it being slot specific, it's weight specific. I kind of like that. Fog of War is now a thing in this game. This is a hex-based map. And what's annoying is the amount of micromanagement involved. In regular Sheltered, you could just pick a point on the map and go. As long as you had food and water to get there and back, you were okay to do that. In this game, you can only go as far as the Fog of War takes you, which isn't very far, so you have to constantly micromanage. When you reach your destination, new tiles reveal, you go back into your map, you go change route, you go to a new location, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And, that's assuming you find something. And you'll probably run into a faction long before you find a building. But anyway. So, yeah, that whole fog of war needs to go. Just be able to pick a spot on the map and go would have been nice, I think. There's a lot of micromanagement involved with exploration. I wish that was a bit more fleshed out. The things that are missing in this game. No pets. I'm really sad. Whenever you create a family in Sheltered, you can choose between like a dog or a cat or a snake or a fish, and they each give you a benefit to your shelter in some way. You don't have that in this game, at least not right away. Again, I do want to stress this is a partial review, not a full one. But I have not seen pets at all in this game, so no pets. I miss my German Shepherd. Hazmat suits and gas masks, as far as I can tell, are not a requirement. In the original Shelter, you had two suits that you could put on your people, and also they would need gas masks to brave the environment, otherwise they would get sick. In this game, it doesn't seem like that's a thing. You can go out, do things, and it doesn't look like you get sick, but there is a health and radiation status area that does show off some of these things. So again, I have to fully explore that later. But there is no like initial gas mask or hazmat suit need. You can go up on the surface and mess around. There's a 3D surface, by the way, rather than a 2D one. It's a limited area, but you can actually build things like windmills on the surface and so on, which is kind of cool. Another thing missing is the custom difficulty sliders. In Sheltered 1, there are options for like rainfall, plentiful, scarce, whatever. In this game, it's just easy, medium, hard, and then you can also adjust like some other things, but it's not as in-depth as Sheltered 1 is. And I think that's going to be the revolving theme here. This game has some highs and some lows, and in a way, it left me disappointed. Compared to the first one, this one feels like a step back in a number of ways. I mean, yeah, some of the new stuff is really cool. Again, the whole weight-based system idea, I like that. I like the idea of factions, temperature, that adds a bit more realism to the game. Cooking in this game is also a bit more micromanagey. In Sheltered 1, if you put a stove down, that was enough for you. You take your canned food, you cook it, and you ate it, and you were safe to do so. In this game, if you've got canned food, you can't heat it up on your stove. Rather, you have to find raw ingredients from the environment, like meat or whatever. The broccolis, you can make broccoli soup, for example. Just the meats and vegetables that you'll be earning, you can cook those. But canned food you can't heat up and prevent sickness or anything like that. So it's weird. Some things in this game don't make a whole lot of sense. The graphics and the art, they went from a 2D to a 3D kind of thing. However, it still looks like butt. I'm sorry to say it. Like the facial expressions, like this feels like, you remember GoldenEye and Perfect Dark for the N64? You know those triangular character models? They're not as bad as that. But, like, when I'm looking at my character's icon or whatever, like, his face is not at all realistic or anything. It reminds me of a souped-up version of the Perfect Dark models, which is sad. Combat in this game, the bear is just a set of polygons. I mean, it's just, no. So they could have done so much more with this game, and it's a shame that they didn't. The game is only $20, and there is a loyalty discount, which I took advantage of. But I feel like first impressions-wise, I was let down by this. I will not refund it. I will continue playing it just to experience the rest of the game, and I'm hoping they patch it too. If they never touch this again, then I'll never trust this franchise ever again, and I'll stick to Sheltered 1. Which was free on Epic for a short time, by the way, so you should have grabbed that. I let you guys know on my Discord channel, just saying. Anyway, so first impressions, I'm disappointed. I'm intrigued by some of the new things, and yes, I will continue playing it, but this is not Sheltered 2.0 by any means. There are a number of things that are just not there, that should be there. Also, there's some bugs too. For example, resolution. Every time I go to the options menu, it resets to 1920 by 1080. I'm like, really? I have it on 1600 by 900 so I can play in windowed mode, but it keeps resetting on me. Little things like that just bother me. So anyway, it's not a fully fleshed out game. I feel like this game would have been better off in early access for a while and then released at some point later down the line. I feel like this was rushed, which is, again, a shame. So do I recommend it? That's up to you. If you did not own Sheltered 1 yet, and you had the choice between Sheltered 1 and Sheltered 2, I would tell you to go buy Sheltered 1 instead. That's what I would tell you. If you already own Sheltered 1 and very looking forward to this, well, Steam's refund option exists for a reason. So give it a shot and see if you like it. That's my best advice to you. Just don't go in expecting a whole new game that it will blow you away. No, this is not the Sheltered 2 we were hoping for. It could be with some TLC. It could be, but it's not. So, first impressions / review, there you go. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.